Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Life of the Entrepreneurs with CJ Boyd and Andra Annette. So, we are in a new year, and CJ and myself have decided that we're going to talk about loving where you're at now. So, I'm going to move over to CJ and let her talk.
All right. So I think, it's really landing that I see everybody talking about, new year, new you, and what's your resolution and what do you want to accomplish this year? When in reality, we forget to celebrate who we are right now in this moment. And looking back and reflecting on, how far we've come in the past year and the things that we've accomplished and the ways that we've grown personally, spiritually, all these things. I talk to a lot of women who are like, oh, but I need to get here. They forget to remember how far they've come to get where they are right now. And so, you and I spoke about this a lot of times where gratitude for everything. I mean, we need to be in gratitude for every single thing that we have in our life. For me, it's every single morning when I wake up before I even open my eyes. I'm thanking God for the fact that I'm awake, that my heart is beating, that my brain told my heart to beat, that my lungs taking in air. And it's like, I think people miss the presence, like being present in the moment and appreciating what you have right now because they're always searching for that next thing. And that's what I want people to really understand is like be in gratitude for where you are right now and everything that you've been given. There are so many miracles that we have in our lives that are seen, but there's so many more that are unseen that we take for granted. And I'm just really like digging deep into that now, like thinking, yeah, we pray to God when something horrible goes wrong or we have an illness or we're sick or something happens. We pray to God and like, please fix this. When in reality, every single day we should be going, thank you for giving me all this amazing stuff that I already have that you've done that I had no idea about. And so I'm really thankful for where I am in my life right now and the fact that I realize what a gift that my life truly is. Yeah, I've had a lot of crap happen in my life, but I'm truly grateful that everything that's happened to me to this point brought me to this point right now where I'm really genuinely in love with my life and thankful for every single piece, person, experience that I've had. And I think that's just the game changer.
I think what you said is very important. It's very poignant. So today's my birthday, so I'm very grateful because I hit a one. So 57. But
Woohoo!
I think it's important to be intentional about our day-to-day lives. I really do. I spoke of this morning on the live. I'm only alive because some 6-year-old kid decided to wrap up my head after an accident, somebody I didn't even know. My life could have changed dramatically on that day. And it did, but in a good way because it allowed me to believe that people are genuinely good. And if given the chance, they'll do the right thing. So, and it started me on that journey about really being intentional about my day to day. I'm not going to lie and say that every day since then I've done it perfectly because that I'd be full of what makes the grass grow green, but I try to live with intention and purpose and really enjoy what I have now. I've had family members ripped from my life suddenly, and you always think there's going to be a tomorrow, and none of us are promised that. We only have today. So if we're so worried about tomorrow and what tomorrow brings, we don't really sit where we are and enjoy, like you said, what we have. You
And I
know,
think well, I was just going to say what you said about being intentional about that. It doesn't just happen by chance. We're not like, oh, great, that happened. You have to really train yourself to be intentional about seeing the beauty and the joy and the things around you because so many people, like you said, you have somebody ripped from your life. That's horrible. And most people tend to be like, oh, life sucks and everybody's horrible and all these things where we really have to dial it back and be intentional and go, wait, no, that's just one little piece of this puzzle. But look at all the other things that have happened that are great and amazing and beautiful and what I've experienced instead of honing in on that one thing that, devastates you at that point in time, you know. So the fact that we realize that that's just a minuscule thing in our life, but there's so much more.
so I had mentioned to you before in like a conversation that I don't. I have the book on my phone. I don't remember if it's A Course in Miracles or Miracles, the book. So I have it on my phone, but it talks about everything happening for a reason. Basically, it's like a real version of the Bible that talks about, the crucifixion and the realities behind it, and that it wasn't a horrible thing, and it talks about our purpose here and how we're just here to add value to each other and bring each other back into our true form. So that can be interpreted any way, that we're here to lift people up and let them see their light, or you know what I mean. You could really interpret that anyway, but basically we're here to add value to one another and to each other. So when you think about that concept, the book talks about how we have all these capabilities, that we let our ego get in the way. So when you think about all those things we're wanting on the future, a lot of them are materialistic. They're not, oh, I want a great love, and I want my marriage to be better and all those things. For some, it is, but most of those people that have their eye 10 years into the future are thinking about their finances, what house they want to be in, and things like that. They're not thinking about happiness. They're thinking about what they see others people may have, and some conceptualized idea about what a great reality would be, because social media blasts all
Yeah,
this stuff about how they're living these great lives and stuff.
living large.
And I would love to welcome them into my small little home because I love the way I live. But so people don't, they have all these thoughts in their minds about what life should be and what they don't have.
Right.
And that's kind of what keeps them where they are,
Exactly.
because they tell themselves. You were talking about seeing the beauty around us. So if you choose to see the beauty, then you will have beauty in your day. Yes, you might have to look for that, but if that's where your intention goes, that's what you're likely to see. If you're always thinking about the bad, then you're going to see all the bad, because anybody could sit there and look at their life and look at all the bad things and say, oh my God, and be in a puddle on the floor in their tears.
Yeah.
Nobody has an easy life, but it's what you do with those times that make the difference in how you move on. You could either pick yourself up and say, okay, this really sucks, but where do I go from here? Or you could stay stuck and let that absorb you know and I think a lot of people don't realize the strength they have in their mind to really create anything they want. It takes motivation, it takes consistency, it takes support systems, it takes belief in yourself. And so many people get so stuck in their minds about what their capabilities are, that they never step out of that. They're afraid to step out on social media. They're afraid to, people call it imposter system, but it's all about that ego. You're afraid of what people are going to think of you, what they're going to think. And who cares what anybody else thinks? And,
Yeah.
and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm sure you're really nice people, all of you, but at the end of the day, nobody pays your bills. You don't sleep with anybody at the end of the day other than the spouse that you chose. So you know what I mean? You want to put good in the world, and you want to be liked, but everybody's not going to like everybody. We're very different. We come from different backgrounds. We have different belief systems that we were raised with, different rights and wrongs, different morals, different ethics. So you could try your best and be the best you can be, and that's all anybody can really expect from anybody, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of times people are looking at other people's lives and going, "Oh, if I just had that house or I just had that car, I went on that vacation, I'd be happy." And a lot of times when people chase that elusive dream, when they get that thing, they realize that didn't make them happy. So that's what I think, it's like we each have to look within ourselves and go, "What's going to make me happy?" what makes Andra happy is not going to fulfill me and make me happy because I'm not you. And I think a lot of people think, well, if I'm just like so and so, then I'll be happier. If I have this amount of money, I'll be happy. When in reality, the beauty of it is learning to be happy with who you are and what you already have. And then, things will come to you that are meant for you. And a lot of people, I think when you were talking and you said, if you're looking for happiness, you'll find happiness. And it just brought to my mind, like top of mind awareness. When I wanted to buy a Toyota 4Runner and I was like, oh, I really love the 4Runner. What did I see on the road every time I drove? A 4Runner. Like I saw 15, 20 of them a day. And it's like, oh yeah, because I'm thinking and I really want one. And that's great. So it's the same thing with happiness. It's the same thing with finding somebody who you enjoy spending time with, or this perfect job. If you're thinking about that and you expect to see that or expect that to be happening and to experience that, that's exactly what you're going to have.
Yes. But that's what a lot to do with what I mean by intentional. So how we spend our thoughts, people talk about mindset and people talk about the law of attraction, right? Some people buy into it and some people don't, right?
Right.
So I'm one of those people who buy into it because this is my belief on the law of attraction. What if I didn't believe in it? And what if all those people who are saying it works, that all you have to do is attract like, and I just said, oh, that's full of shit, and I never tried. What do you have to lose to think positive? They say the highest energy is love and hope, and so somebody spiritual said that. I think it was Mary Morrissey. So she was talking about the different realms of energy and what's the highest level, so when you say you want things or you're excited about something, that you draw more to you, like through
Yeah.
love and those higher emotions. So what do you have to lose by trying to be positive and saying, I'm the richest person in the world. Everywhere I go, money's drawn to me. I love money. Money loves me. What do you, what do you have to do? But you have to be intentional about what the things you attract, because a lot of people think money is the root of all evil to a lot of people. And I don't believe that to be true. I think that there's so many people out there doing good in the world, and that's how they were brought up. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard to make money.
Yeah.
So, and my mother was one of those people who said that money doesn't grow on trees. You want something, get a job. So, so I get that, but it's that concept that keeps you thinking you have to work harder instead of smarter to really get to those places, or that because you don't have it, it's that much better. So a lot of people, when they're in lack, think that abundance is better, and it's only because they're here that they see this as better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all these problems, all people have problems when they're rich. They don't just go away. They just have bigger problems.
Exactly.
So you have to, is money going to make you happy? What, be intentional. What are you going to spend that money on? If you made seven figures today, what would that money be on? Would you open a shelter for dogs? Would you give money to battered women? Would you fight for cancer? Would you do research? So there's a lot of ways to spend money. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. So it's about being intentional and doing that inner work that you spoke of so eloquently, and honing in on who you are and what will make you happy. And then it's going to take money to get there. So that will be a piece of your puzzle, because nothing just falls in your lap. You do have to put in that intentional work, whether it's inner work or outer work. It's work.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, we're in a society where everybody's like, oh, it's instant gratification. I want to lose weight, but I want it gone yesterday, or I want to be a millionaire and it's not happening quick enough. And we don't get that instant gratification and results on the outside. So a lot of people stop their journey because they're like, oh, it's not going to work. If you're doing it on the inside, that's what matters. And that's what gives it staying power. If you're doing it on the inside, then it automatically shows up on the outside. I
I
think a lot of
agree.
people miss that puzzle.
I agree. And I think a lot of people don't test what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it. There's a lot of people online that are really just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Oh
They
yeah.
were told, come online, you make a
Been
lot.
there, done that.
Yeah, I've been there. I've done that too. And they knew they wanted to help. They didn't know how. And they said, well, let's just go live. So and take it from there. So there are people that try that approach, but you have to test. It's a strategy. It's a thought, and following through on those thoughts. So you're gonna have a lot of failures, like anything else in life, and every failure brings you one step closer to success. I failed miserably at most of the things I've tried in my life the first time. A baby falls, he's got to crawl before he walks. And people do want that instant gratification. And there's no easy ways out. What's that song? There's no shortcut. there's, there's really not. You could sit there and say, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. But if you don't think in your mind that you are, and then you'll never be. So you do need to do that work, and you do need to determine what rich is for you. I don't measure myself by finance as much as I measure myself by what I consider achievements for me. Like when I come home at the end of the day, I look back at my day, and I look at what was really good in that day and what was not so good in that day. And then I focus on what happened really good. Like I always highlight the best thing of that day so that when I fall off to sleep, I remember that good, not that bad.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I train my brain to see that, because it's very easy to sit in that bed.
Yeah. I mean, because we're taught to look at the bad, like, oh my gosh, look at that happen, and we hone in on that, and where we forget that there are good things. And I was thinking about this earlier too, where I used to measure success by like, okay, I want to have X amount of dollars in my bank account. I want to have this many people join my team. I want to have this much weight off me by this time. And now it's like I'm very intentional when I start my day about it's not about me looking for sales in my business. It's about what message can I put across to serve as many women as possible today to meet them where they are? How can I speak and connect and have conversations with a woman today that's going to change how she feels held or supported or loved or cared for, or like she has somebody that's got her back where she can be in the trenches and do the thing. And I find that that's just so much more fulfilling for me than going to my mailbox and getting a check and going, oh yeah, I did it, I had a sale. It's like, this woman will forever remember how I made her feel today, and that's worth more than any check that can come in the mailbox. And I just really feel like that's what this year is about for me. It's not about chasing that rank or that dollar amount, because I know that that's already there. It's about really being genuine and intentional about how I make other people feel, about how I can inspire somebody or leave them elevated or help them feel their purpose. And I think a lot of us miss that. And I've missed that mark for a long time. And I feel like everything's sort of shifting business wise because I'm not looking at every woman that I talk to as a dollar sign. I'm not looking at every woman that comes into my DM as a sale. I'm not looking at every conversation I have as like, oh, this is a possible person joining my business. I'm looking at her as a human being, as a heart, as a soul, as a spirit, as a mind, as someone who really just wants a genuine connection with somebody else. And if something comes from that, great. If not, then she can go forth and she can have that connection with somebody else. And it's just the ripple effect. Like I get to be that tiny pebble in the ocean, and
Love
then
that.
it's going to reverberate out. But it's not about me wanting that wave. I don't want to create the wave right now. I just want to be, I'm okay with being that tiny pebble that reverberates the ripples that will eventually grow into that tsunami wave.
You want to hear a really funny story? I don't talk to people in the D's. As everybody tells you. Everybody tells you that's the way to make money and all that stuff. And I have an overwhelming amount of people reaching out to me. I even made a live that you won't find me in your DMs, that I'm not that girl. So I'll have people reach out to me all the time, hey, Andra, could you use 15 or 20 more clients in your business? And I'll say, nope.
Nope.
Hey, Andra, we have this great news sales lead system, but do you want to hear about it? No, thank
Nope.
you. I'm good. Do you need more leads? Nope, fully booked. Thanks. Because I'm so tired of listening to these people and their bullshit. So, and then I have clients that will see something I say and they'll reach out to me and just start talking to me. I had I don't remember what I was talking about. Some guy reached out to me about dehydration. And I was like, how did he get from there to there? Oh, he thinks I'm a doctor. No. So I said, I'm not a doctor, but what questions you got? So I have people reaching out to me all the time. And this is going to sound really weird, but I hired a team before I declared I had a business. And I know that sounds odd, but I said, well, I'm going to need people to help me. So I paid people for a really long time and I wasn't taking clients. So my thought was that I needed to be prepared for those people, and that process wasn't very good in hindsight, but I projected that I would need them and that the money would come. And I think it was the second person I hired when I started getting clients. So
Nope. That's
maybe not as often as I liked. A lot of people say that coming online, everything happens really quick and really easy, and I've been in healthcare a really long time. And there's a very big difference. I had mentioned to you earlier than being actually physically there in person and someone's bottoming out and you having 2 seconds to help them, and being online and trying to explain to people how they need to get healthy. It's very different, um, and there's so much out there with people telling people that shiny object syndrome, this is quick because people want to hear quick, and I can't lie to those people because I do help with weight loss and it's not quick because however long it took you to get into that body is you could probably get out of that body in half the time if you stop doing those quick fixes because they're what got you in that body you're in now. So it, if you want to change, then it takes change. So a lot of people stay on the same roller coaster trying new fixes, new fixes, new fixes, and they don't see that you don't change until something changes. Nothing changes, nothing changes, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
No, I think it's true. It's like the very definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
mhm.
And even like in business, people are expecting to, you have people are like, oh, join this business. It's this amount of dollars and you get this amount of dollar coming in automatically and so quickly. And that's bullshit. Those are far-fetched things. People don't like just automatic success overnight in the online space. It takes work, but it takes dedication. It takes intention. It takes you putting in the work to get what you want because nothing's for free out there. And people don't understand, they expect, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and the money's going to come and I'm going to be successful and I'm going to have all this money and I'm going to go on these vacations. And then they don't put in the work and then they question themselves, well, why did it work? And then it's automatically a scam, or it's automatically, people taking my money and doing this. You have to commit to yourself to really put in the work and do the due diligence. Like, I want to lose 65 pounds by June. Can I sit on my couch and eat bonbons and
No, but
not move my
it's very doable.
I know, and I'm going to get there, but I can't do that if I'm going to sit on the couch in front of the TV shoving bags of chips down my gowl every day. So I know that I have to make changes, but and being intentional about those changes because I really want that result because I know that my body needs that and my health is so important. And that's what I want people to understand. You want to be an entrepreneur, be willing to get in the trenches and do the work. It's not going to happen by accident or some fluke or whatever. You need to be intentional about your actions every single day to build any type of business.
Well, there's a lot of people like when we met, we did a book, right?
Mhm.
And I'm sure we bought into that whole thing. Oh, it makes you, with authority in your business. I was like, authority? I've been
Yeah,
doing this forever. Who do I need to please, right?
right.
So, but and you too, you've had your own businesses before, so having a business wasn't new for you. So, but everybody buys into that, and there's so many books online that people don't even want to see a new book being published, or because now everybody's caught in that web, and it's always going to be something new, oh, have your own radio show, oh, you need a podcast, oh,
Yeah.
you need to have 50 people a day added to your Facebook page, so everybody's going to say something different, but a lot of times none of those things will work for you, so you have to see what you're comfortable with and how you can create those relationships that are going to bring you what you want, right? So um you really have to put your blinders on and say, oh, okay, this far, no further, and just really, like you said, be very intentional and very focused. So I do want to get off the subject a little bit because I don't want to drill it home too much for you guys. I know we all have short attention spans, myself included. So I wanted to just let you know that I have a show, Healing from the Inside Out, and CJ is going to be hosting some of those episodes with me, and we want to really talk about collaborations and competition that's going on out there, because if we don't collaborate more, then things don't change, right? So we're from that old mindset, women supporting women, and a lot of times they're still competing, and that's why nothing changes. If nothing changes, ladies. So we would like to know how we can support you. So if you're one of those women that don't feel supported, you need to reach out to either CJ or myself, and we'd love to have you as a guest. So please reach out to us. Let us know how we can help you, what you are doing in this world, what you'd like to see more of in your future, and let us help you with that if we can. Okay. So CJ and I are going to get out of here. It's been great talking to you, and I hope you've enjoyed this week's session. CJ, any last
Happy
words?
birthday.
I'll take Thank you. All right, guys. Bye bye.